Unit 8. Tell me a story. Lesson 7. Speaking. Vocabulary. Moral. A sentence that tells you what a story means and that teaches you something.
The moral of the story is that you should think before you make a decision.
Take place. To happen.
The story takes place in the castle.
Activity 1. Listen to someone giving a talk about the story in Lesson 5.
I'm going to talk about a traditional story. It takes place in a small village in Africa. It's called Jacobo and the Lion. It's about a boy who plays a trick because he's bored. The main character is a boy called Jacobo. His job is to look after his parents' goats, but he finds it boring. One day he shouts, "Help! A lion!" And his parents go to help him. But when they get there, he's laughing, and they realise that it was a trick. There isn't a lion. A few weeks later, Jacobo does the same thing again. This time, his parents are furious with him. The next day, a lion really does come, and Jacobo shouts for help again. Nobody comes to help him because they don't believe him. The lion scares away all the goats, and Jacobo is very frightened. The moral of the story is, if people know you tell lies, they will never believe you, even when you're telling the truth. I think it's an interesting story because Jacobo learns an important lesson.
Do you think it's a good talk? Why? Why not? A good talk includes a summary of the main event. It only includes important details. It tells us about the characters, where the story takes place and the moral of the story. The speaker gives his or her opinion about the story.
I think it's a good talk. There's a summary of the main event. It only includes important details. It tells us about the characters, where the story takes place and the moral of the story. And the speaker gives his opinion about the story.
Activity 2. Write notes about a story you like. It could be a story you have read in Academy Stars or another story you know well. Remember this story? Yes. It's the mystery on the beach from the previous lesson. Let's write a note about it. You may refer to pages 44 to 46 if you couldn't remember the story. Title:
Mystery on the beach.
Characters:
April and her cousin, Sandy.
Setting:
On a small island off the coast of Africa.
Main events:
1. April and Sandy are strolling down the beach and talking about the island. 2. They saw 3 men stealing the turtle eggs. 3. They called the police officers.
Ending.
The police officers finally caught the turtle gang who had been stealing turtle eggs.
Moral.
We must be brave when we see something is not right or suspicious. It might help others.
Opinion.
It's an interesting story because April and Sandy had saved the turtles' eggs from being stolen.
Activity 3 and 4. Prepare and practice your talk with a partner. Use your notes and the phrases to help you. When you're ready, give your talk to the class. Answer any questions.
I'm going to talk about a story from the previous lesson, Mystery on the Beach. It takes place in a small island off the coast of Africa. It's about two young people who helped catching the gang who had been stealing the turtle eggs. The main characters are April and her cousin, Sandy. April and Sandy are strolling down the beach and talking about the island, when they saw three men stealing the turtle eggs. They called the police officers. The police officers finally caught the turtle gang who had been stealing turtle eggs. The police officers thanked April and Sandy. The moral of the story is we must be brave when we see something is not right or suspicious. It might help others. I think it's an interesting story because April and Sandy had saved the turtles' eggs from being stolen again.